Well, hey everyone, it's the Eurobandit here once again, and today I'm gonna do an audio gear comparison for the very first time. And I'm gonna do a comparison between two cassette decks. And here they are. This is a Technics 631 from the late 70s, and this one is an Alpage FL-5100 stereo cassette deck from the late 70s as well. Although this one is a bit newer than this one. This is a fair comparison because they're both serviced, which means that they both had their heads and the place where the tape travels cleaned and demagnetized. As you can see, the covers are unusually glossy, and that's because I've repainted both covers, and technically the Alpage required more service because it needed new belts, and I did replace the belts on this one. It does have brand new belts. On this one the belts were just perfect. I'm sure it has been stored in a shed or in a very humid place because it was full of scratches, and it still is full of scratches, and it had a bit of rust on the cover and on the bottom plate as well. Therefore I decided to repaint the cover as well as the bottom plate. Well, the bottom plate is painted blue. Can't really see that on camera because it's so dark. And technically this thing was fine. Didn't have to do anything else other than repainting the cover and the bottom plate, and you know, a bit of maintenance, cleaning and demagnetizing it. Same thing with the other one. Once I replaced the belts, all the parts where the tape travels were cleaned and demagnetized. So they're both tested properly and they both run properly. And therefore I can do a comparison because they both have about the same features, and they're both very well built cassette decks, and they're both built in Japan as well. In many ways they're quite similar, and I do think that they both costed about the same price when they were new, with small differences. I'm not really sure, but I'm gonna tell you which is my favorite one, and you will be quite surprised. So to begin with, let's go through the features. They're both the same size, they're both as tall and as wide and as long, as you can clearly see. The Technics was available in black finish or in silver finish, the front cover that is. It's obviously aluminum, and some of them came with wooden cover, this one didn't. When it comes to their condition, they're both about the same, although the Alpage wasn't rusty, but the Technics had a bit of rust. But the condition doesn't really matter at this point because function-wise they're both pretty much like new. They both have Dolby B, which I don't give a crap about. Technics has MPX filter, 2-head design. It has 2 mono microphone inputs, DIN input, output connector, headphones, input RCA input and output connectors. It has these 2 beautiful analog view meters, which I'm a huge fan of. Probably the biggest view meters I've seen in a cassette deck this size. Usually they're a lot smaller, and usually there's a lot of cassette decks that are bigger than this one and have much smaller view meters. So this is pretty much my favorite thing about this Technics cassette deck. It obviously has auto stop. One more, it does have memory stop, timer recording / playback, peak indicator, cassette backlighting, although it doesn't work because the bulb is burned out. I'm sure it's soldered and it can be replaced, not a problem. It does have capabilities for chrome, ferrochrome and normal tape. Does have a 3-position equalization selector, manual tape type selection, does have an output level which is very useful, microphone level left and right individually. It has 2 inputs for 2 mono microphones, beautiful mechanical conner, memory on off, a reset button for a conner. The Technics 631 came in 1978, and I think it's the only year it's been manufactured, although it might have been continued until 1979. And now for the Alpage FL-5100. It's been made between 1979 and 1981, so it came 1 year later. And it's exactly in the late 70s when this type of view meters got popular, although a lot of people still prefer the analog VU meters, and that's what kept them going until about the mid-80s. By mid-80s the analog VU meters were gone, unfortunately. So let's quickly go to the features. 2 mono microphone inputs, headphones connections, RCA input and output connectors, DIN input, output connector for record and playback obviously, and for display 3-digit mechanical counter, digital peak reading meters, which I'm not a fan of. Over here it does have a bias fine tune for calibration. That's of course when recording, as well as the peak button. Manual tape equalization, chrome, ferrochrome, normal and metal tape capability. Manual tape type selection obviously. It obviously has the timer start on and off, similar like the Technics. Tape selectors, Dolby output level, record level for left and right channel individually, and here's the input select for line or microphone, as well as the record muting. Same as the Technics, 2 mono microphone jacks. This thing has 3 belts. I believe the Technics has 4 belts. I didn't look into it because the belts were alright, but I believe the Technics has 4 belts and the Alpage has 3 belts, which makes the Alpage a bit more service friendly perhaps. I'm not really sure, I can't really say anything about it, but one thing I can say, I did replace the belts on the Alpage with brand new ones, and it's pretty damn easy compared to many other cassette decks. It's not a big deal. I'm sure you'll probably find it very difficult, but it's alright. Does have auto shut off. It only comes with silver finish. 2-head design, exactly as the other one. Stereo obviously. At a speed of 4.76 centimeters per second. So pretty much like all other cassette decks. Now we can start the comparison. This thing, as you can see, it does have full auto stop. This one does not have auto stop. As far as the sound quality, they both sound great. However, I found the Technics sounding better than the Alpage. I like it better. And now let me turn them on. Beautiful illumination. In fact, let me turn the light off. Looks like the cassette backlight is not working on the Technics, but they both have it. As far as the looks, they both look great, but I prefer the Technics again, because as you can see it does have 3 knobs, and especially these 2 big VU meters. Another feature I prefer about the Technics over the Alpage is the smooth eject. Now let me show you how smooth it ejects the cassette door. As you can see, very nice, smooth and slowly, while on the Alpage it's a bit faster, but it's still pretty smooth, and it does make a bit of sound when it ejects the cassette. As you can see, the cassette sits a bit up, but once you close the door it goes down. As you can see, it's very nice and smooth, and you can see those beautiful VU meter needles moving around while playing. It sure looks great, doesn't it? Alright, now let's stop it. And let me show you how the cassette goes up when I eject it. Let me show it again. Different angle. As you can see, it goes up, so you can pick it up, put it back, and when you close it, the cassette slowly goes down. Let's eject it again. Yeah, pretty damn nice, but I prefer the system on the Technics much better. Let's play the cassette, and this is pretty much how the meters look like. As you can see, they're nice and blue. As you can see, the selectors and everything look pretty much the same on both cassette decks. They're very similar in many ways. This is the stop eject key on the Alpage. It's all in one. While on the Technics it does have individual buttons for the stop and eject, which is alright as well. I don't really care about it. So overall, I like the Technics better when it comes to both looks and sound quality. I prefer it over the Alpage, obviously. They're both well built. However, the Technics itself feels even better built than the Alpage, but that's obviously my opinion. You might have a different one. In fact, when it comes to finding one of these, the Alpage is more rare than the Technics. If you want to look for one of these, chances are that you're probably not gonna see an Alpage FL-5100 on sale for who knows how long time. While the Technics, I did see the 631 model for sale several times. Well, which of them you should choose, it's up to you. The Alpage is obviously more rare. You're most likely going to find a Technics than an Alpage. And keep in mind, they're both quite rare. When it comes to the value, they're both worth about the same nowadays. I mean, I sold this thing for 522 Swedish crown, which isn't a whole lot. I could have gotten more if it would have been in better condition, because you'll see that it's full of scratches and all that. Well, I repainted the top cover, but still it didn't hide the scratches and all that on the front panel. There's nothing much I can do about it since it's aluminum. Anyway, with that being said, now I'm gonna end this video. Hope you liked it. If you do, why not thumbs up, check out my other videos, and if you like what I'm doing, why not subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.